Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Korra/Avatar video. This one's going to be just some details of basically explaining to you about the Legend of Korra Book 3 Change Awards that we have going on the site, avatarthelastairbender.online.com. If you followed my channel or the site or the podcast for any length of time, you probably know that this is one of the bigger events that we do every year. We did this for Book 1, we had the Book 1 Air Awards, but we had the Book 2 Spirit Awards last year. So obviously with Korra coming to an end now, with the Book 3 finale, it's time to do Book 3 Change Awards. And so basically they're going to have the exact same format this year as last year, just with a few minor changes. And I'm just here to talk to you about that. So I'm going to go through it as if you have no idea what these awards are, just in case you haven't participated before. So basically, linked in the description below is a link to a post on the site, which is where you vote. This is the voting post. It's got a list of, I think it's 27 different awards, different titles ranging from, best character to best voice actor, best location, stuff like that. It really covers a broad scope of things in Avatar and Korra. And basically you just copy out that list, all 27 awards, into the comments section below, and you write in your own award based on Book 3. It's just completely focused on Book 3 Change, so that's what it's basically about. And you guys have 2 weeks to vote, so obviously voting starts August 22nd, and then it's going to end 2 weeks from that day. And after that, on a podcast, special episode of the Avatar Online podcast, it'll be the Book 3 Change Awards results show. Myself and the other hosts will go through and we'll talk about what we each individually voted for and reveal the winners of each award. And it's just a really fun thing that goes on the side. It's a great way to just celebrate the end of a new book of Korra. So that's what we're doing. So right now, the main thing I'm going to go through is just some extra details about how the awards will work, and talk about the different voting categories, the different awards that we basically are celebrating. So as I said, 2 weeks to vote from the day the post goes up. You post on the site. That's the only place we're accepting votes from. Please fill out all 27 awards. It's okay if you maybe come back to it and don't answer them all at the same time, but make sure that before the end of the voting period that you have voted in all 27. It just makes it so much easier for me to correct them, because obviously usually by the end of it we have somewhere between 70 and 100 and something votes, and I have to calculate that for all 27 awards, so it takes a while, and it's a lot easier if you all just have everything filled out for me. And yeah, after that, the results won't come out until the podcast goes up. The podcast will be recorded basically the Sunday after the voting ends. So the voting's going to end 2 Fridays from when the finale of Book 3 airs, and then 2 days after that will be when we record the podcast. So you'll get the award show then and get the results. And then at some point after that I will put out a post on the site that just kind of goes through text wise just what the results are. And if you want to know the results for the Book 1 and 2 awards, I actually did very recently put up a post to explain what the results were from the first 2 awards, so you can really compare and contrast what people voted for. That will also be linked in the description below. But for now, I just really want to go through the awards. So yeah, the first award is Best Main Character, and this is one of the only awards where we really specify what you can vote for. There's only a few people up for this, just because we really make the distinction between what a main character is and what other characters are. I'm recording this before the award post goes up and before the finale actually airs, so we haven't fully decided what the exact candidates up for this are. Right now it's Korra, Mako, Bolin, Asami, Tenzin and Zahir. It's just those characters. This could change based on what the finale says, so base what you're voting for in these 2 categories on what's in the post, not so much on what I'm saying right now. Those characters I think will for sure be in the vote, but there may be an additional one or something like that. So check what the post says over what I'm saying right now. So that's best main character, the character who was in the book a lot, who thought was the best. Then next up is best supporting character, and again, this is probably the only other one we specify what you can vote for, and this is between characters like Kai, Jinora, Opal, Suyin, Lin, Pali, Gazan, Minghua, Varric, Zuko, maybe not Varric, again, we'll have to see what involvement he has in the finale, if any, Tonrock and stuff like that. The characters are in the show a little bit, but not enough to be a main character, and in it enough not just to be like a minor character, just like really bit part player. So, again, most of those are included right now. Kaya and Boomy will also be involved, but again, base your vote on what's in the post over what I'm saying right now. Lastly is best minor character in terms of the main character ones, and this is just between all of the other characters. Any character who's not part of main character, not part of supporting character, is in the minor character category. So this is characters like Raiko, who right now has only been in the show a tiny bit. This is characters like Zhu Li, who again has only been in a small bit. Suyin's other children like Huan, Wei, Wing, Bazaar, her husband, and stuff like that. Those type of characters who are only in it a very small amount of time, but we want to give an award to them. Then we have Best Spirit won't be returning this time round. That's the one change from the book to Spirits Awards, just because while we've seen spirits this book, there hasn't been any sort of a focus to the point where like there's good candidates up for this really, because there's been no named spirit really in the book. So we had to take spirits out. So next award that is part of the Book 3 Change Awards is Best Character Development. This is different for the first three in that the first three are more of a kind of popularity contest. What was your favourite? But with Best Character Development, it is more like evidence-based. What actually happened with that character in the show? That, you know, you can say that like your favourite character is like Mako or something like that, but he hasn't had a massive amount of character development this book, so he wouldn't really be voted for character development. But, you know, characters like Korra usually gets a lot of character development. This book, Lin has had some character development, Tenzin, and so on. So this is a one we make a distinction for, but definitely a good one to vote to have as an award. Next one is Best Quote, and we always say when you're typing in your vote for this, type in the exact quote and who says it, just so it's easier for me to correct. And this is quite simple. Just what was your favorite quote from the book? The favorite line that a character said that you just really loved. And yeah, this can be funny, epic, or whatever. Just a quote you really liked. After that is Best Location, and this is just your favorite location from the show, whether that's a specific part of a nation, a specific city, or a specific like building in a city, if that's part of the series. Like in Book 3, there's been great locations like we got to see Ba Sing Se again, we got to see the Northern Air Temple again, we got to see bits of Republic City early on, Siwang Desert, Misty Palms Oasis, in the Spirit World, Jaibao's Grove. There's a lot of different locations you can vote for this, so that's always a fun one. Next up is Best Animal. Now, this is an interesting one just because a lot of the time a named character wins over just a specific new animal introduced. So for like Book 3, it's going to be like a kind of question of, you know, do you vote for Naga, who's had some really kind of funny, nice moments, or do you vote for like the Sand Shark as this really cool, new, interesting animal? But that's a fun award too. Next up is one of my favourites. I always see what wins, and that's Best Episode. Now with Book 3 we have 13 episodes, so there's only 13 candidates for this. If there's a part 1 and 2, you separate them. So if you like part 1 better than part 2, vote for part 1 and stuff like that. But I don't think that's been the case this book. There hasn't really been a part 1 and 2. So anyway, there's 13 candidates up for this. Vote for what your favourite episode was. Next up is Funniest Moment. Very self-explanatory. What was the funniest part of the show? You need to be a little bit descriptive when you describe it, just so when I'm correcting, I know the specific moment you're talking about. Like, if possible, you know, say what episode it was in, and so on. And like, just really brief description, just so I know what the scene is. Next up is Most Emotional Moment. Same sort of thing with these next few awards. Just the scene from the show that made you feel the most emotion, whether that was sadness, happiness, whatever. It covers all the emotions. Just describe the scene again, so I know what it is. Most epic moment, or probably this is better said as the most awesome moment, the moment that made you go, yes, this is so cool. What's happening on screen now at the moment? Again, describe it. Makes perfect sense. Next one is the weirdest or most random moment. In short, the Cactus Juice Award. What was the most random moment of Book 3 Change? Again, describe the scene so I know what you're talking about. Next up is the best shipping or romantic moment. Another one of these moment awards, but this one is like just the best scene that involved a ship between two characters, romance, anything like that. Describe it, who it was between. That's what it's all about. This is one a lot of people really like to vote for. Just what was the best fight of the book, best fight award. So just say who the battle was between, in what episode, stuff like that. And just for all of these awards, you don't need to explain why you voted for it. Just put down the vote so I can mark it down as that's what you voted for. You don't need to describe why you voted for it. So yeah, best fight. Next up, best Avatar: The Last Airbender reference. So even though this show is very different to Avatar: The Last Airbender, it always is aware that Avatar: The Last Airbender came before. And so it has a lot of little references to it, whether that be characters from that show also being still alive here, references to things in the past. Like this book has been very interesting in that we've had Zuko as like a pretty prominent character. We've had little references a lot of the time to Toph. We've seen Iroh a little bit. And there's all these nice little moments. Iroh and Korra and Zuko talked in episode 11. There's a lot of cool reference moments, so that's always a fun one to look at. Next up is a series of 5 awards that cover the fighting kind of specific fighting moments, basically. Best airbending moment is the first one. What was your favourite moment where a character used airbending and it was just really cool? Like, this can be a specific move, like a fight that utilised airbending very well, or whatever. It's just, what is your favourite airbending moment? There's been a lot this book with airbending, which has been cool. Next is best earthbending moment. Again, very self-explanatory. What was your favourite moment that used earthbending this book? And this can include metal bending, it can include lava bending this book. What was your favourite specific moment? And, all I say with these is just, don't just say, I like that Ghazan used lava bending. Specify a moment of him using lava bending that you like the most, or a fight or something like that. Next is best waterbending moment. Again, best moment that uses waterbending in the book. And if there is any bloodbending, that can include that. You can include healing if you wanted, but just waterbending in general. Best firebending moments next, and that does include lightning generation and stuff like that if you want. Then the 5th one is best non-bender fighting moment, because we have had a few. Like, there's a few moments where you kind of go, oh, cool, the non-bender's getting a good chance. Maybe not as many of them this book, but we always like to know that, it's not just the benders we care about in the fights, that non-benders can do stuff too. And so, there you have that. The best moment where a non-bender fought very well, and just describe it. Then we have 2 of the more fun ones that are always fun to see who wins. Most attractive male character, and then most attractive female character. Just character you like the look of the most, basically. Best voice actor is the only real award that focuses on the people behind the show, and we just like to very much reference that, and just the character that you thought voiced a character very well this book. Then best music piece is up next. It's self-explanatory what you're actually voting for here, just what was your favourite piece of music from the show. The only problem with this is that we don't know the names of many of the pieces, so when you're voting in this one, just try and describe the scene quite specifically where it takes place, just so I know what piece of music you're referring to, because I can always go back and watch it if I need to, if I'm unsure about the specific piece of music you're talking about. So just that's probably one of the ones you need to be a little bit more detailed on with regards to what exactly it is. The final 2 awards are ones where you kind of do have to be a bit more explain yourself kind of sort of thing, because they're not so much awards as more just what overall does the fandom think about things? The first one is the most disappointing thing about Book 3 change. Now, obviously this is kind of, you have to describe a specific thing about the book that you weren't so happy with, that disappointed you the most, and obviously the winner of this is going to be the thing that the whole fandom felt was overall the most disappointing thing about the book. And that's always an interesting one to just look at. It's the only award that focuses on kind of more negative kind of criticism, but it's always kind of worth having that, because as great as Korra and Avatar is, none of them are perfect. So we like to have that one in there. And then we end with a little bit of positivity, and that is the most surprisingly good aspect of Book 3. And this is just a counterpoint to the previous award, where that was like the moment that the thing about the book overall that disappointed you the most. Well, this is the kind of thing that like surprised you with how good it was about the book. And again, this is not like it surprised me how good this fight was or anything like that. This is an overall part of the book. So, like, did it surprise you how big of a focus airbending was in this book? Did it surprise you how much changed or something like that? It's like an aspect of the book rather than a specific moment. But it's very broad for those last two awards. So that's that. And then just some like brief notes. They're all the awards. That's all 27 of them. They're just some kind of things. Just please only vote once. Please don't make multiple accounts on the site. Don't double your votes or anything like that. Because that just takes away from the overall experience. That you're basically manipulating it so that whatever you want to vote for is winning. So please do that. If possible, keep your voting to one post. Like I said, like if you need to, you can kind of reply to your own post and like add in some stuff, but please, if possible, try and keep it in just the one post and just get it right first time. It just makes it a lot more easier for me to correct. You can, if you want to, like if you vote very early on, there are 2 weeks to vote, as I said. If you want to change your votes, you can, but just like I said just before this, try and get it right first time. But if you really want to change something, just reply to your post and say that you want to change it, because I do go through it fairly detailed, so I'll be aware of that. Again, you don't need to explain why you voted for everything. So if you vote for Korra as your best main character, you don't need to explain it. Just best main character, Korra. That's it. Because that's all you do when you vote. You just the list of all 27 awards is listed as a block of text in the post. All you have to do is copy and paste that into the comment box below, and then after that there's a space, just after each award just type in like Korra, your favorite minor characters like Suyin or whatever, and just go through them all, hit reply. You don't have to be a member on the site either. Like you don't have to go through that registration process and get like a username on the site or stuff like that. If you're not a member of the site, you can still vote. All you have to do is make up some sort of a name, just so your post isn't just blank. Give a username to confirm that you're a real person, and you can post on the site as a guest. So it's open to people who are members of the site. It's a lot easier that way. If you just happen to be a member of the site, if you're logged in, you can post with no problems. But if you're a guest, you can do the exact same. So that's good. It's open to everyone, not just people on the site. And just then for some of the specific ones, a lot of them are just like favorite character, you say what it is. Favorite moment, you say what it is. But there are a few that just require you to explain it a little bit more. Make sure that your vote is very clear about what you're voting for, and it's not like confusing at all. Like when you say best fight, don't just say like Tenzin versus like Zahir or something like that, because that fight could have happened like multiple times over the course of the book. Say it was Tenzin versus Zahir in episode 11 or something like that. Make it very clear. And then just for the last two awards, as I said, that requires a little bit more of an explanation. So definitely think through what you really want to vote for those last two most disappointing and most surprisingly good moments, and really just write out a good explanation and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, just make sure, get your votes in time. Voting opens up August 22nd, and it will end, that means the voting ends, I think, September 5th, and then the podcast will be September 7th, which is, I think, is a Sunday if I have my dates correct. So yeah, that's the Book 3 Change Awards. Definitely, if you have any questions on how the awards are going to work, ask in the comments below, and I'll reply to you. Votes are only accepted if you do them on the site. That's just for me and ease of correcting them and stuff like that. And once again, the results will come out on a podcast on the 7th of September. And yeah, it'll be a good discussion just on Book 3 overall to go through all of this stuff on the podcast. But yeah, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.